Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Lisa Fikes, and I serve as the President and CEO of the Leadership Center for Excellence, where it's our mission to connect, develop, and inspire leaders for personal growth, civic engagement, and community impact. This is our 9th year hosting this 40 Under 40 celebration, and the 3rd year that we've partnered with our friends at Leadership Fairfax. We want to thank you all for joining us this morning. And in addition to our wonderful, amazing honorees, we know we're joined by community leaders, friends, colleagues. We've seen some parents in the room, some family members from all over the country. We appreciate you taking the time to celebrate with us today. I'm so honored to share this virtual stage with my colleague, Karen Cleveland, who serves as the President and CEO of Leadership Fairfax. Thanks for being here, Karen.
Thank you, Lisa. Leadership Fairfax is honored to be able to share this platform with you and honor these incredible individuals. Boy, does this give us hope for the future because of such strong candidates. Mm-hmm. And we're also so pleased that we've gotten such great support from the community to put this on today. And I'd like to thank the sponsors who stepped up to really help us today. So we have Arlington Partnership for Affordable Housing, APA, Chelsea, Dildine, I knew I was going to say that wrong, from Edward Jones Investments, Dominion Energy, Fed Writers, Innova, and Aaron Miller. Thank you so much for your support with us today. Additionally, you are all in for a treat today. We have a keynote today from Elizabeth Jones Valderrama, who is the CEO of OAR Arlington. We'll hear from Elizabeth a little bit later.
That's right. Thanks, Karen. Our two organizations really do delight in celebrating individuals who are leading within their own spheres of influence. And we're so excited to celebrate this year's honorees who truly are inspiring and live up to the ideals that we're holding today.
Yes, each of these individuals come from diverse backgrounds, and they represent the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. Each one of them has been an exceptional leader, both in their professional and community life. It is so great to be able to hold them up as examples and honor them because they represent the mission and vision that we have for both of our organizations. So we want you, the audience, to really feel and understand the spirit of what our selection committee saw when we reviewed the applications. So you're going to see videos from the first 20 honorees. It's very inspiring, and we're so happy to bring you these.
This past year has brought a lot of different lessons, but one of the biggest ones for me, I have to say, is just to continuously seek out feedback, to proactively and intentionally ask feedback from the team, from mentors, from colleagues, and just those in your network. That allows me to be better, hopefully make better decisions, and just to overall continue to add value to those around me. And one quote that really sticks with me and keeps me in check is, "Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life."
In this next year, the character quality that I think leaders need to practice most is patience, of taking the time to give someone our full attention and really listen to them. In our culture of busyness and hurry, it's crucial that we slow down and really try to understand what a person's real concern is. We need to demonstrate in each and every interaction that that person is of value.
I think one of the most critical abilities for leaders to develop over the next year is the ability to be adaptable, responsive, and dynamic when it comes to managing their teams and organizations. As you know, over the next year, we're probably going to see a lot of changes both in business and in the marketplace, and in politics as well. And I think that that's going to require leaders who are able to pivot on a dime and to make the changes needed necessary for their team and for their organizations.
A leadership quote that inspires me is one that I actually carved out for myself, and that is, "Never dull your diamonds to let rock shine." The reason that I choose to live by this strong statement is because each of us were given gifts, talents, and/or a voice that shouldn't come with depreciation, but instead elevation. Even with challenges and hurdles, we should all always strive to let those talents shine through because you never know when you're inspiring someone else.
As an executive and leadership coach, I often think about ideal leadership qualities like ripples on a pond. There's motion, fluidity. The most needed qualities next year are ones that create other leaders, a ripple effect. Those qualities are humanity, intellect, and passion. Humanity is showing understanding, respect, and compassion. Intellect is operating with objectivity and curiosity, and passion is operating with drive, enthusiasm, and a love of what you do. That is what next year's leader will look like.
"20 years from now, I want to be remembered as someone who brought out the best in those around him. And more importantly, someone who encourages those around him to do the best thing, do the right thing, especially when the right thing isn't the easiest thing to do. And also to give back to their community in whatever way they're passionate about, but to use their time, their resources for the betterment of others."
Flexibility and steadiness. There's a lot of uncertainty with rising interest rates, inflation, and the potential for recession. Leaders need to be able to respond quickly, adapt, and be nimble with strategic thinking and decision-making. We can't overreact to the news of the day. We have to stay true to our long-term goals. Navigating tomorrow's challenges is going to require good judgment today, willingness to listen to others, and an ability to recognize when you've made a mistake.
20 years from now, I want people to say that when it was time to put in the hard work, to roll up your sleeves, that I was the person left in front. And when it was time to receive the awards, the accolades, and all the recognition, that I was the person left in the back.
I want to be remembered as a leader who values empathy, listening, and opening doors for others as key values in their leadership style. These are the values that have helped me have successful interactions throughout my journey in the civic and nonprofit world.
My favorite leadership quote that has been a true inspiration to me is one by Oprah Winfrey. She once said, "Leadership is about empathy. It is having the ability to relate and connect with people for the purpose of inspiring and empowering their lives." I would say that healthcare administrators have truly faced this during the global pandemic. Having understanding and empathy with your staff are imperative in leadership today.
When it comes to leadership, I've learned the importance of long-term thinking, self-motivation, and adaptability. Nothing is going to go exactly how you wanted or on the timeline you planned, so you have to find ways of keeping yourself going and rolling with the punches.
The leadership qualities I believe are needed most within the next year are kindness, compassion, and level-headedness. Because more than anything, I really do think that we have to start getting back to the basics and giving each other grace, including ourselves first.
The leadership qualities most needed in the next year are the same qualities that leaders, both young and old, have exhibited for decades: to lead with courage and enthusiasm, to inspire others, to act with integrity, and above all, to treat everyone with respect. Leading by example and empowering others are vital to leading change today, tomorrow, and in the years to come.
20 years from now, I hope to be remembered as a thoroughly thoughtful, consistent, caring leader that listens to understand and learn from others and empowers those I am entrusted to lead.
One of the leadership qualities I was able to learn the most and practice over the last year was adaptability. As a first-time father, as someone who has completely changed their careers, and someone that continues to volunteer in the community where we live, adaptability has really been something I've gotten great practice at.
The leadership qualities I see as being important in the next year are curiosity, collaboration, and compassion. Leaders need to have the ability to learn from our past, to look at current trends and ask why, and to imagine a different way and ask why not. Change cannot be made in isolation, and we need leaders who can work across sectors and negotiate differences. For many, stressors have increased and mental health has waned, so we need leaders who can take a person-first approach and show they care.
As cheesy as it sounds, I was doing a Peloton ride once and the instructor said, if you can't score the point, at least get the assist. And that really stuck with me because as leaders, we probably feel the pressure to put points on the board for ourselves, to have the success based on our work. But really, we're equally judged on how we empower others to be successful and perform for the betterment of the group. And that's what I focus more and more on, is how I can be a better person at making assists than scoring points for myself.
In 20 years, I hope to be remembered as a leader who inspires others to be strong, confident, and fearless enough to chase their wildest dreams. I hope to be remembered as helping others to see and strive for their highest potential. I hope to help others to dream and reach beyond what's impossible, because if you can think it, you can be it.
I think the leadership qualities that are most needed in the next year are empathy and transparency. With the recent layoffs and additional cuts forecasted for the next year, employees are feeling anxious and insecure. It is important for leaders to build close relationship with their employees, provide a safe space to discuss concerns, be transparent about the state of the business, and help them build skills for this increasingly competitive job market.
Over the next year, we need leaders that are willing to practice the following 3 characteristics. Number 1, we need leaders that are willing to do the right thing, even when the right thing is hard to do. Number 2, we need leaders that are willing to embrace and practice equity. And that means centering those that need the most attention first. And lastly, we need leaders that have the capability to coalition build. Now more than ever, our communities are facing issues that are intersectional. And we need leaders that can bring our communities together to accomplish our common goals.
What an amazing group. Learned so many wonderful lessons, and I know you all join me in recognizing them, honoring them, and celebrating them. At this point, we're going to take a quick break. Karen, do you want to give everybody some instructions on what to do during the break?
Sure. It's a great time to go visit with other people. Remember, you can just double click on the video and that will be asking for permission to join in. So please do visit with some folks and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
We'll bring you back at 11:20. See you in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We hope you had a chance to connect and enjoy being with one another. We are so excited about the person who's going to be offering our keynote address this morning. Elizabeth Jones Valderrama is amazing. Karen and I were just talking off screen. She is just a powerhouse. In addition to being the executive director of OAR and a graduate of Leadership Arlington and a past 40 under 40 honoree, Elizabeth has a wonderful story and is making a huge impact here in our community. She's the daughter of Gladys Valderrama Valencia and Johnny Jones Williams, and is married and has a community of kitty fur babies. So you'll have to ask her about that. Lots of fun stories there, I'm sure. She's been an integral part of the OAR team of Arlington, Alexandria, and Falls Church for more than 18 years, including the last 8 years as the executive director. At 9 years old, Elizabeth moved here with her family from Costa Rica to Arlington, Virginia, where she graduated from Washington Liberty High School in 1998. And not just graduated, she graduated as the high school's first Hispanic Latina valedictorian. She earned a BA in Spanish and Latin and American Studies with a minor in history from the University of Virginia in 2002 and a master's degree in organizational management and development from the University of Phoenix. And the work doesn't stop there. She is working on her doctorate, so the next time you see her, you will be able to call her possibly Dr. Elizabeth Jones Valderrama. In addition to all those wonderful accomplishments, Elizabeth also enjoys being a virtual Zumba instructor, which I think is just so cool. And she has an amazing heart for justice and liberation. It's ongoing. It's an ongoing example to all of us, and we are so grateful to welcome her here today to share some words of wisdom. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you
Thanks
so
for
much,
being
Lisa.
here, Elizabeth.
I appreciate you all so much. And Karen, and I'm super excited to be here. I want to, of course, thank the Leadership Center for Excellence and Leadership Fairfax and everybody who had a hand in planning this incredible 2023 Northern Virginia 40 Under 40. I am honored to be the one to get to celebrate these incredible people that I get to be here on your very special day. I'm sure that you're thrilled with the honor and very well much deserved, but also that you get to be hopefully celebrating with your loved ones and supporters. And so today I want to talk a little bit about rest, which is a funny topic to talk about during this incredible celebration. And I want to make sure I read a quote from one of my favorite authors, an American writer, Audre Lorde. So she was a womanist, a radical feminist, a professor, a civil rights activist, etc. And one of the quotes that she specifically talks about is about rest. And the quote says, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." And so the reason why I want to share with you today this quote and talk about rest is because, one, we don't really talk about it enough, but also because I believe that for us to be incredible leaders, like all of you are today, that part of that work is to ensure that we're caring for ourselves and for our community. And so part of that community care and self-care is to ensure that you are well with yourself, body, mind, heart, soul, so that then you can be well with others and ensure that others are well and come up with you as well. And so as you're thinking about your future and your day-to-day activities, I want to challenge you to also think about ways where you can find self-care, community care, liberation in the work that you do, as well as rest. And so, as Lisa said, one of the things that I'm super excited about, my mentor, my liberation guru, Ebony Denise Moore, asked me a couple of years ago, if money was no object, if the world was just and everybody in the world had everything what they needed, what would you do with your life? And so I initially thought about it. And what I decided, and I answered back months later, I think, was I would love to dance, travel, eat good food, take a nap, and do all of those things with people I love. And so I want to ask you that question that she brought to me a couple of years ago, because it has changed the way I do many of the things that I do. As Lisa mentioned, I'm a Zumba instructor, and I do dancing and I do the things that make me feel happier. And I have found that it makes me a better human being, but also a better leader. So as you're thinking about where you're going to go in the world, I want to challenge you today to go into the community, do incredible things like you already are, but also think about how are you going to continue your journey towards liberation. I'm really excited that we get to honor you. You all already have met incredible members of the community, well deserved. And there is another group of people coming behind too that you will get to meet shortly. So as you continue your journey in leadership, in love, in the work of all of your missions, organizations, and companies, be sure to care for yourself and care for others. Lastly, I'll give you one more quote, also from Audre Lorde. And the quote is, "Life is very short. What we have to do must be done in the now." And so please be sure to find your liberation, find your joy, find your authenticity, and find ways to rest so that you can do what you need to do now. So with that, I am grateful again, honored to be the one here to get to celebrate with you today. And so I want to make sure I pass it on to our great group of friends that are coming up. So as I mentioned, you already met the first group of amazing leaders, and I'm now pleased to introduce you to the second half honorees. Thank you for your time and wish you nothing but the best and lots of love.
In 20 years, I hope to be remembered as a leader that helped others to build and discover their strengths and discover their leadership abilities. I also hope to be remembered as a leader who led a community effort to achieve significant change, because a leader is only as strong as the people on their team.
My favorite quotes that inspires my leadership is, "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his instincts." This quote by General Douglas MacArthur highlights the 4 C's of leadership: confidence, courage, compassion, and character.
One of the biggest leadership lessons for me in the past year was realizing that the key to people leadership isn't just in aligning people to a specific purpose, vision, or goal. Instead, I think we're called to lead in a way that allows our people to discover their own individual purpose and to help them to pursue it in ways that give meaning to their work, unlocking their best work, their life's work.
Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. Now, this is a quote that has inspired me for many years because I've heard it in one way or the other from inspirational leaders to include Shirley Chisholm, Marian Wright Edelman, and the credited originator Muhammad Ali. It's a reminder that leadership is not about being in charge, but it is about being a servant leader, one that cares for and takes care of those that are in your charge.
I believe the leadership qualities that are most needed in the next year are acceptance of others' viewpoints and expertise. One can't possibly have all the answers. Vulnerability, to admit where you can learn and grow, and to possess a willingness to come together and compromise on complex topics.
The most important leadership lessons I've learned this past year is to be confident in myself. You're in a position of leadership for a reason. To be vulnerable with my team and to share where I'm struggling, and to also trust my team to execute what they need to do.
One of my favorite leadership quotes is always leave things better than when you found them, especially people. This to me highlights that as leaders, we're not measured by our accolades, our titles, or other achievements. We're measured by our outcomes, especially the relationships that we build with our teams and the impact that we make on their lives.
So 20 years from now, what I hope people say about my leadership is that I was empathetic and that people truly felt that I cared for them. And I would say the second thing that I hope people say about my leadership is that they could feel my energy, my passion through the work that I did, and that it really made a difference in their lives.
Mother Teresa said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water and create many ripples." When I think of those tiny ripples that each of us as leaders in the community are creating, it makes me excited to think about the future and the literal wave that we'll be able to create when we work together.
One of the greatest lessons would have to be about understanding how powerful and how impactful our thoughts are. Our thoughts are like boomerang. What you put out in the world comes back to you. And to understand that your possibilities are shaped by what you believe is possible. And to have faith and trust in your prayers and what you desire, and know that it will happen in the right time, not in your own time. And to also understand that it doesn't happen overnight, but over time.
My favorite leadership quote is from the immortal philosopher Winnie the Pooh, who said, "A little consideration, a little thought for others makes all the difference." No matter what industry you are in, all leaders are in the people business. I keep this quote top of mind, as the true mark of a good leader is in how that leader treats other people.
A leadership quote that has inspired me in the space of servant leadership is solving problems. The day your team stops bringing you their problems is the day you have stopped leading them. From General Colin Powell. This has truly helped me understand that leaders help followers identify hazards, navigate obstacles, and learn to avoid them in the future.
I hope I'm remembered as somebody who really showed up, who brought 150% of themselves to this work, who tried to make equitable decisions and make space for people at the table who were needed in that decision-making process, who was transparent and kind, and whose dedication and love and passion for the work that I do in this community, it showed in my actions every single day.
This new year, let's focus on developing the leadership qualities that will drive us to success. The most important qualities are empathy, resilience, and cultural awareness. Empathy helps us understand one another. Resilience is the determination needed to overcome all obstacles. Lastly, cultural awareness. Our communities are becoming more and more diverse. As emerging leaders, we need to understand and appreciate uniqueness and different values. I invite you to embody empathy, hold on to resilience, and embrace cultural awareness in all you do.
If you hear a voice within you that says you cannot paint, then by all means paint and that voice will be silenced. That's from Vincent van Gogh. I've loved that quote ever since high school, and it's helped me understand the doubts that I may have with myself and the doubts that others may have about me. But all in all, it really helps me understand what it means to persevere and deal with learning and making mistakes and growing as a person. And that's what helps me through leadership.
Humble leadership does not mean that you think less of yourself. It means that you think about yourself less and you think more of your team. As a leader, I have learned to truly focus on my team, helping them to achieve goals they thought were unattainable, because the support we provide to our teams as leaders has the ability to make the biggest and positive impact to their lives. And that is leadership.
The biggest lesson I've learned this past year is the power of listening. Deeply and truly listening. Listening to the communities that you work with, listening to your colleagues, and even listening to yourself. To really understand people's priorities and their needs, and to take action that's meaningful and relevant. The world needs more leaders who listen, and that starts with us.
I believe that it's really important to lift as you climb. I don't think that anybody gets to the next level without having some thoughtfulness or intentionality about making sure that they are opening up the door a little bit wider for the next generation of leaders.
One of my favorite quotes that still inspires me to this day says, "Don't let someone who gave up on their dreams ever try to discourage you or keep you from trying to chase or achieve yours."
Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. I wanted to share that because oftentimes we have these great ideas, but we never take action on them. It's always better to just hop in and start moving and get things going as soon as you can.
Wow. Lisa, what an incredible group of leaders. Yeah. Their passion to lead came through loud and clear. And to all 40 of you, you are so wise beyond your years. I cannot believe that you're not 40 years old. It's just really hard for me to believe. Your passion was strong. You talked about intentionality, integrity, courage, collaboration, curiosity, and human-centered leadership. I think all of that is so important right now. You have led through a pandemic. I hope that's the worst thing you will ever have to lead through, but there will be more challenges. And as we've come out of COVID, we've talked a lot in our programs about the COVID hangover, that for the people who have had to be there for everyone, both in their work and in their personal life, there is a depletion factor. So as I listen to the videos today, I am so inspired and encouraged that all of you are going to be able to hold that space for all of the other leaders and technical experts that are out there doing the work. So thank you for what you're doing today, and we can't wait to see what's next for all of you.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks so much for your reflections. As I think back to what I've learned, and I've had a chance to look at some of these videos as we prepared for the event today, and I love it. I get goosebumps every time I hear all of your remarks. So many things stood out, but some things I'd love to highlight: the valuing the beauty of diversity and experience and thought and collaboration, coalition building with one another. I loved that making those assists rather than scoring the points for ourselves, and lifting as you climb. And service to others is the rent you pay for our room here on earth. Also loved hearing from our keynote speaker, Elizabeth, and the value of rest. We all need a good nap every once in a while, and I love that, but really that care for ourselves so that we can care for others. So thank you, Elizabeth, for your words as well. Let's all use this as an opportunity to be reinvigorated today. After listening to these stories of these amazing 40 individual honorees, we hope that we can all pause and reflect and take some time to think about our own leadership journey, because we're all works in progress. We all are. I know I certainly am. So how can we continue to learn and grow and serve? And how can we continue to learn from folks like we heard from today in our journey, and take those seeds and take those things and make them our own as we seek to be people who are making a difference in the world and who are leading with grace and with dignity? Thanks so much to all of our honorees today for your example. We can't wait to celebrate you at the reception tonight for our honorees, and both Karen and I look forward to seeing you. Huge thanks to both of the staffs from Leadership Fairfax and Leadership Center for Excellence who have been working so hard to get all these things together so that we can celebrate you. So thank you to both teams. And thanks to everybody who made a point of coming to be with us today to honor these folks. As we said earlier in the program, it is such a delight to see moms and dads and family members from all over the country, as well as other professional mentors and leaders here in the room. So thanks for taking the time to come out. We will keep the virtual room open for another 20 minutes. So please enjoy connecting with one another. Might be a good time to catch up with mom and dad, as well as with other peers and colleagues. So take that opportunity to enjoy the platform here. Both Karen and I will be around for a bit. And thanks again, everybody, for coming out. Have a great rest of the day.